Hi everyone, this is Alvin Chong. Welcome back to Are You OK podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about something about the industry that we're in, and also like to let you guys feel and know what we really feel working in our industry. And on today's episode, I have a very good friend. We're gonna talk about how we first met in a bit, and it's Anis Nabilah.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for doing this.
I love this. I mean, I think we do have like a lot of chats, heart to heart talk over the last few years since we've known each other.
Yeah,
But this is the first time on camera.
spicy.
I know. But it's always been good though.
Yeah, it's always been good.
Right?
And Anis has been so nice to me.
Aw.
You know, like when we first met, it's actually very funny. It's like during MCO, during the lockdown. And
Online.
And our management wanted like, Alvin, why don't you just try cooking? Because I don't cook at all.
I remember
The stuff that I have, the kitchen
I
appliances
remember
that I
that.
have is like so limited.
Yeah. But you
then-
were also moving houses at the point of time or about to move.
No,
okay,
not really.
okay.
Like I bought a new apartment, but
Okay.
back then I couldn't move.
Okay, because
So-
of MCO.
And because of MCO, I couldn't do renovation and stuff like that. So for the last 10 years, I mean, during when we first met, that was the only cooking appliances that I have. So like,
So honest.
and then our management, Universal Music, was like, why don't you just do like a cooking video, like with the stuff that you have? I'm like, are you sure you want me to share this part of me to the world? I'm like, yeah, you could be funny and stuff like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And then we made like a Zoom call or something, and then
yeah.
I went like grocery shopping and stuff.
Yeah, you're video calling me.
And then at that point, I
Grocery
feel like I
shopping.
know nothing about stuff,
Yeah.
cooking stuff,
Yeah.
ingredients and stuff. So when you were saying like some names, I'm like, what the hell is this? Like I feel so malu and embarrassed like to ask like what is it about.
please.
So
No.
when we get back home, like she asked like, do you have this knife and that knife? I'm like, this is the only knife that I have, the fruit knife.
Okay, bear in mind, I was not informed, how your
Equipped.
situation is. Yeah, exactly. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. I mean, I love teaching people who don't really have a lot of knowledge in cooking rather than teaching people who are really good at it. I mean, because there's a lot more to teach
Yeah.
when you don't really know much. And it was fun. And I felt like it was real. It was real.
Our reactions are all real.
It looked really real. Because, we were in that situation, MCO, where we can't just go out and
Yeah.
get everything, you can't just order from online
Delivery.
and get it delivered, like all your appliances and equipments and utensils. So we were literally making do, and that was what it was about anyways.
That was fun though. That was really,
It really
fun.
was. It really was.
But it also made me feel like I'm not meant for cooking. There's so many work and I hate doing dishes.
I mean, yeah, that sucks.
And I don't have a
hate that as
dishwasher.
well.
Do you have a dishwasher?
I do.
Yeah. So I don't, and like, that's especially with all the like
sucks.
grease and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, get a dishwasher.
But I don't cook that often though.
Well, you have to eat.
It's delivery. Okay, so back to today's topic. So we're gonna talk about like our background, like how we started.
Yeah.
So and because we have chatted a few times, so I sort of know like some of your stories. Like you were being the only female celebrity chef
When I started, yeah.
in the industry. So can you briefly just share with our audience like how you get involved? Because I know you've been cooking your whole life with your
Yeah.
siblings, with your
Yeah.
parents and stuff like
when
that.
I came out of my mother's womb, I'm like with a spatula.
Spatula.
Oh God. Well, yeah. I started cooking on TV in 2007. I didn't I never imagined this was what I was gonna end up doing. I did started cooking way before that. And I thought I was just gonna end up in a restaurant or something. And one day I was called to do an audition for the first show I did. And it was a collaboration between Indonesian TV and Malaysia. And they said, you know, they wanted to change. They wanted something different. They wanted to break the stereotype. So that's why they wanted a young female to run the show who is qualified in culinary. So you can really teach people. You have the knowledge and stuff. So I didn't think much of it. I'm like, people asked me to just go. They said, you know, you'll be great for this. Just try it out. And at that point of time, I was actually working part-time in another hotel in KL. But I thought, you know what, let's just do it anyways. So I did it. And the people who interviewed me, they were really a prominent figure in the industry, prominent figures in the industry, newscasters and TV hosts, like really, really famous.
Okay.
At that point of time, really, really famous. And when they auditioned me, I speak Malay fluently.
Yeah.
I can speak Malay fine. But at that point of time, my Malay was more with a northern accent.
Okay.
Because I grew up with my grandparents and they're from Penang. So, you know, there's a lot of awat tabang ni lo wat lambat no, you know, that kind of thing. But even with my friends, I do speak Malay, but pasala, you know.
Yes.
But TV at that point of time was very different.
Yeah.
You know, everything.
You
You
speak,
can't
like,
even
proper
have
sentences and
exactly.
stuff like
You
that.
can't even have a word of English, and so of course I was like, you know, you tend to think, especially when you've got no experience being on camera, and you know, when a camera is placed in front of you, you
got nervous.
you
and
kind of
tense,
like, you have to think like, what am I gonna say? It doesn't just flow right out.
Yes.
So, and imagine having to cook and talk.
Yeah.
And I was 20 years old.
20 years
Yeah.
old.
And here are these famous people in front of me, like, cook something and talk to the camera. And there was like 3 cameras. And at that point of time, Alvin, the cameras were this big. The one you put on your shoulder and it's like, you know, and if you have to repeat yourself 4 times, the cameraman will go like, what are you doing? Like, but I did it. I was just, I did it in with a Penang accent. And I just went on and on. I don't even remember what I said. And then all of a sudden, they called me and said, you know, you're selected to go through to the next audition. And I said, oh, great. Yeah, sure. I didn't think anything of it. A month after that, they called me and they were like, forget the second audition, you got the job. So they auditioned about 80 girls, yeah. And I got it. So I was shocked, but happy, obviously. And I was actually attached to the network. I learned so much. But again, things were very different back then. You know, there's a way to speak to the camera. And so I was sent to all sorts of training, voice training, you know, speak from your diaphragm. Assalamualaikum, anda bersama saya Anis Nabilah. Like to really speaking proper Malay, which, you know, of course is very good and very helpful for me. I feel like my mic is dropping. It's like, right, where are you going? What's happening here?
Speak for your diaphragm. The mic goes directly to your diaphragm.
Oh, good God. Is it just me or this is like getting further away? Kembali bersama saya, Anis Nabilah.
Last commercial break.
A little bit of an issue. Alvin was saying, like, you know, I was really speaking from my diaphragm.
Yeah.
It wanted some action. You know, I had to go through all these courses to sort of like fit in.
But
to
how
be
long does
that.
it take for you to like really get used to whatever you were doing? Do you
I
remember?
got used to it quite fast. I got to used to doing it quite fast, but I don't think I've ever fitted in.
Why
I
is
don't
that?
think I've been doing this for 16 years now, and I don't think I truly ever fitted in. Because Alvin, we are all individuals. We're all different. You know, it goes back to like our upbringing, the things we are exposed to. People, when I started, I had to. People didn't know because I had to speak in Malay in all my TV shows, not even a word of English. I had to learn all these words in Malay, like grapefruit in Malay. Do you know what
I
that
have
is?
no idea.
Limau gedang.
Limau gedang.
Limau gedang. Capsicum in Malay.
I have no idea.
Lada Benggala.
It's so hard.
I feel like when I say that back then, a lot of people don't even know what that is, because it's not commonly used.
Even now, I don't think
Yeah,
people
it's
would
not
get it.
commonly used, but I had to because that was the rules when
that
I
was the protocol.
started. Yeah, like you have to, like not if it's a Malay network, it has everything needs to be in Malay. So it took quite a bit of getting used to. And people started thinking I'm Singaporean for some reason. Like, is she Singapore? Is she Singaporean? Probably because my Malay sounds so baku. Maybe it's that. I'm not too sure. Or maybe because my show ended up being on Asian Food Channel and Singapore TV. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So yeah, I mean, that I remember I had a few conversations with the branding people when I was working, when I started my career. And they're like, we're not telling you to change who you are, Anis. We're telling you to have two personalities, TV personality and yourself when you're with your friends and your family. And I thought that's just weird, but I didn't think much of it because that was just work, And I think a lot of people can relate, even if they're not in this industry, because you have to do what you have to do for work. Say, if you are, a teacher, you have to just adapt.
Yep.
Like, okay, this is today I have to teach this classroom and the children are all different from this other classroom or that classroom. And you have to adapt. Like anything you do in this life, you just have to adapt. So I didn't think much of it. I didn't think that I wasn't being myself.
You wasn't happy
It
about
was
it.
it was like doing what I truly love, which was cooking, but being someone else doing it.
Yeah, it's like a character that you play.
Yes,
on screen.
exactly. Like you're doing what you love, but you're not being yourself.
Entirely yourself.
Yeah, but I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't bothered by it because I just thought this is just something I have to do. And then it got a little complicated over the last few years because, I started showing a little bit more of myself and things, TV became a lot more relaxed and you can start mixing it up.
words.
And it's great. Like I can show a little bit more of myself. And that's when it's like, oh, why does she speak like this? Why does she look like that? Why is her voice like this? Why is she wearing that? And everything started coming in. And that's when, I realized that I started having some sort of self-doubt. And I like to think that I'm a confident person. I'm always very comfortable being myself because I grew up in a big family. I have lots of sisters. And we are so used to, we grew up in an environment where it was safe to express ourselves. But, all of a sudden, this job that I do that I truly, truly love expects me to be a certain way.
restricted. Like
Yeah.
some other
Yeah.
stuff you
Yeah.
couldn't really show on TV.
That, and having to fit in different categories, like certain boxes. And that's when I feel like I struggle a little bit. There were things that was said earlier in my career by people who kind of determine if I could go on or not. Like things like, she's a woman, and it's hard to sell a woman like
It's not
in this industry.
convincing and
Yeah,
stuff like
because
that.
most of the chefs who are cooking on TV at that point of time, men. And she's very young. She's not married. She doesn't have children. So it's very hard for people to believe her, like what she teaches. Well, although I am like a culinary graduate and I
What does that have to
graduated
do with your
top of my
gender and
class.
stuff like that? That they shouldn't judge you based
I think what they're saying is, I'm not criticizing whatever. That was said to me a while ago and it's been done. But I think from their standpoint, it's more of like, they have to study their audience. And maybe their audience, they know mostly mothers, housewives, and they just find that maybe like, how can they trust this chef who's young, who's not married, who doesn't have children, or maternal instinct that was also used.
The funny story is like, whenever they say like it's based on research and stuff like that, it's probably 50% of the chances are they're making
Their
this
own
up.
personal opinion. Yeah.
Because it's what they have been doing for the past few years. They just feel like something new is not something they wanted to try, it's something they wanted to risk. They just assume that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So they are trying to like, we are not doing something different. We just have to like keep doing what we were doing. It was going well, cater to the same audience, and the business is gradually growing. So we didn't really want to they don't really want to take the risk. That's how men are, because in my perspective, like I've been in the entertainment industry for almost like 13, 14 years. So I face the same thing as well. Like, people keep telling me like, hey, you're a Chinese dude. Like, why are you trying to like go into the Malay market? Even from my own people, the Chinese people were like, what the hell are you doing? Like, they are not going to accept you.
Okay.
Like, it's hard to like, be in the only one or like something really new to the market.
Do you know why you're doing it?
Because back then I love doing what I do. Because I feel like singing and acting shouldn't be limited to only one language. Especially when I'm Malaysian.
Yeah.
I'm exposed to different cultures and different friends and different like religions and stuff like that. I should just give it a go. And I feel like it's so interesting when you get to like, because back then I don't have much Malay friends or Indian friends, for instance. So when I get into the industry, I feel like, wow, there are so many things I actually don't know as a Malaysian.
Yeah.
But then like as my friends, we were in the same industry, so like you should be happy for me if I'm trying something new.
This is coming from people, like not people who hire you. These are friends.
Friends, like like we were in the same Chinese entertainment industry and stuff like that. They're saying like, oh, they were talking behind my back like, Alvin's so stupid. He's giving up like whatever like he was building and stuff like that. Then I'm like,
does that affect you?
Yes. Like, because I ended my contract with my previous company back then. And then I was like self-managed for a while. And then the previous management was like saying, if you leave the company, I'm going to make you suffer. Like, I'm going to tell all the medias how bad you are. I'm going to tell the brands how bad you were and stuff like that. I was actually worried sick because I was just me by myself. I was damn scared. I was like thinking of changing profession and stuff like that. And then I saw this like opening, like maybe I should try auditioning for a different market so that I don't get affected by whatever the management was trying to do to me. That's how I started. Like I went for audition for, I think, for a year back then, back in 2016. For a year, and I didn't hear anything from the production because my Malay was so bad. It was baku, and then like, like it sounded like one of the Gina from Kampong trying to speak Malay. And Bella na mampus. And then, but I was considering very lucky. My first show, Suryati Mr. Pilot, got really big. And I got, people were like trying to search for me online and stuff like that. So after I got in the industry, it's the same thing. Because I was told I'm not supposed to mix too much English in my bahasa. I mean, like in the dialogues. Then I was so stressed out. And even after I got in the industry, the people from the industry was saying like, what are you trying to prove? Why are you trying so hard to talk to us and stuff like that?
These are people in the industry.
In the industry.
Like friends or people who hire you?
Not friends.
People
it's
who
just
hire you? Like people who make the call?
Not really. It's usually the actors and actresses itself.
Okay.
Like they were talking behind my back and stuff like that. And some of my friends actually came and told me, and like I don't know which is telling the truth.
Yeah.
But I was just like listening, and I was like self-doubting, like I just want to do what I love. I just want to make a living. I just want to live my life.
Yeah.
And why is it so hard? And if you know me enough, like I'm not the kind of person who's like trying to like be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I need to be friends with someone that has chemistry with.
Yeah.
Like I won't go and suck up to anyone that I want to be friends with. And people have been telling me that, okay, Alvin has been doing this and that. And it made me feel like maybe I shouldn't talk that much anymore.
That's not right.
Yeah, because I'm so afraid that people are gonna talk shit about me.
All right, okay, let's go back. So you said these people are the people you work with in the same industry,
but not close.
They're not your friends. So why does it matter?
Like I was alone.
Okay.
And I needed companions.
Yeah.
And I needed someone to hang out with.
Yeah.
And like when you were younger, you feel like you want to be as likable as possible.
You want approval. You want people. Yeah. You want
people to know your existence and stuff like that.
Yeah. I completely relate to that, Alvin, because I went through that for a really long time. Like just trying to figure out, it's like, when I was just doing TV before social media, I had to. Because if I'm not likable, if I'm not the way I need to be, the way that sells, then I'm not going to get any job.
They're going to replace you.
Yeah. and I had to constantly try to fit in. And then when there's social media, I'm like, maybe it's time to kind of show people who I truly am. And then I did. And then the backlash came. Right? And then I tell myself, why should I care? I don't know these people. But as much as I want to believe that, it still affects me. Yeah. It's just like, when if you play the slapping game, and if you get slapped so much, at one point you won't feel anything. It'll just be numb.
Yeah.
Right? But you will still bruise. So it's the same thing. A lot of people don't realize this because they think that, it's okay to have an opinion on these people because these people put themselves in the public eyes. Yeah. So we are supposed to give them our opinion.
And usually the bad ones.
They throw all these opinions because it's part of our job
to get criticized.
To take it.
Yeah.
It is part of our job. This is just, the nature of the job. Just take it. But what they don't realize is we are also just normal human beings.
Yes.
With everyday struggle.
Feelings.
With everyday struggle, with all of that. And now having to hear all of this constructive criticism and try and change ourselves so we can fit in, so people will like us better. I mean, that is what they are expecting us to do. All these people who say things, who comment about you, whether in real life or on Instagram or on whatever, this is what they think. I don't like it. I'm gonna voice out because that is I can do. I have a voice. I'm entitled to say my opinion of this person that I don't know, but I watch on screen. And these people just need to take it in because it's part of their job. But it shouldn't.
Yeah.
So this is why we're doing this. This is why we're talking about it. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to say it in a very negative way. I don't want to say it like, oh, look at us. We get this, we get that. People talk crap about us. I don't want to say it like that because there are good things.
There are good things.
There are people who say good things.
Definitely, yeah.
But it's this whole thing that becomes a sort of a culture that people just think that they can say. They are entitled to have to say whatever they want about you. It takes the same amount of effort to say something good or bad. So sometimes I just don't understand. Like, I cannot wrap my head around why people would go out of their way to write something bad about you or to say something bad about you when they know that by doing so, it will affect you. You are a normal human being. Like, why would people do that when they can just choose not to say anything or to say something good?
I actually have a theory about this. Like how if you notice the one who leaves bad comments are usually like a private profile or without a profile picture that we cannot really see their face.
Fake account?
Like a fake account or like they just use that account to just comment stuff. And usually I feel like, because I talked to some of my friends before, usually when they want to say something bad towards somebody, it's because they are not happy about their life.
Of course.
And they want to see someone like us who they feel like we are entitled for everything. They feel like we're living a really luxurious, very pampered life.
And they think that we are so confident,
Yeah.
so we can take the punches.
Yeah. So they feel like we are okay to just take it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they think it's part of the job. Like, part of our job is to just take it, to take criticism. But it's not right, because some of us are just, not all of us are doing great. I mean, we have to show that we have a good life, because that's what social media is about.
And we want to inspire people to work towards their dreams.
Exactly. Not that I'm saying, oh, you have to be fake on social media, don't get me wrong. But a lot of people choose to show the
Only
better
the good
part of their life, because they use their social media platforms to inspire people, to show positivity. Like, I have bad days, but I don't go on social media and start saying, oh, I had a bad day, this, that, because I have other outlets for that. I have my family, I have my friends, and I'm a very private person. So I don't like sharing my personal things with on social media.
Yeah.
But people don't get that. People think that, oh, this person is just, living a perfect life. Everything is great. Oh, she thinks she's so good because she's only saying this or saying that. But it's not that. And there's no right or wrong to it. Like I said, going back to the beginning of my career, how I had to do everything to just fit in, to be that person that can sell on TV. And then when it went to social media, to be that person that can have the most numbers on social media, oh, do this, do that, say it like this, follow this trend, follow that trend. And I just cannot keep up, because the more I do it, Alvin, the more I feel like I'm losing my true self.
Yes.
And I stop and ask myself, listen, Anis, I had a conversation with myself in front of the mirror. What is truly important to you? The acceptance of how many hundred thousands of people I don't know, or my own self-acceptance? I think it goes back to that. People think that everyone in this industry have got it all. It's a good life. It's a dream job. But they don't know that we are just like everyone else. We go through our daily struggles. We constantly have to try and fit in. We have to have it all together at all times. There's a story that I thought I wanted to share with you. In 2016, my brother passed away. And he's my only brother.
Yeah.
I was very, very close to him. And so it happened in the middle of shoot. And I was given 1 day off. 1 day off, Alvin. And, even if you work in a company, you will get at least minimum of 3 days, right? 3 days. Compassionate leave, they call it. But I was expected to be in front of the camera, smiling, talking to the guest celebrities, cooking a day after my brother passed away. And every time my face changed at the camera, I'll get all teared up.
Yeah.
They go mood down, Anis, mood down, smile, Anis, smile. And I did it, Alvin, because that was my commitment. Yeah. This was my job. And I tell myself, I'm going through something really, really bad, but there are other people in this world, different parts of the world, who are also struggling and probably a lot worse than I am. So, tough it up and go through it, because that's your duty. This is your commitment. But people don't know that. And in days like this, when you go through this and you don't talk about it, you don't announce it on social media, and then people just come and attack you over something so stupid, why are you not speaking Malay? Or why is your hair down? Or
why you didn't smile?
Yeah, why is this? Why is that? And it hurts. Yeah. It hurts because we are just human beings, and we are just trying to do our job and just do it in the best way we can. Yes. And also at the same time function like a normal human being.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is a lot of people don't realize that, because they don't think that we are so much similar to them. They don't think that we are normal people, because they think that we have dream jobs. But it comes with
a price.
A price.
We don't get oh, can I get an MC today?
Oh, there's no such thing.
I'm pregnant, can I just go back home? It's stuff like that. Because our job involves a lot of people. Camera crews, deadlines and post-production and stuff like that. We have a timeline to catch. Speaking of the story that you just shared, I actually have one very similar, but not quite. So back in 2018, when I first signed to Universal, I attended an event in one of the shopping malls.
Okay.
And I received a call from my dad half an hour before the event starts. My brother was riding a bike and he was hit, and the driver who hit him ran away, and it was raining, and his head was split open, and he was bleeding for at least 20 minutes. And then he was sent to the emergency room, and then he was unconscious for the I don't know, the longest time. And then I have to do the meet and greet. I have to take pictures with everybody. And then I was feeling so shit.
But you just have to do it.
I just finished it.
Yeah.
So at the point I felt like my mom was crying on the phone, and then brother my elder brother doesn't know what to do and stuff like that. And they just say can you just come home? And I felt at the point I feel I might just lose a brother, and I might not get to see him.
Yeah.
So I felt why do I have to still smile at people and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And but I did it because
that's your commitment.
That's my commitment. Yeah. And the people who took pictures with me and stuff like that,
they don't know it. They don't know it.
I just want to get it over with and go home and get a flight and go home. And then at the point some of the people who came, some of my real supporters, I don't mind entertain them and stuff like that. But there are some random people who I never met before. Can you do a video for me? Can you just take more selfies? Why just 2 pictures? Can I have more and stuff like that? At that point, I just feel oh God, I wish I could just go.
Yeah.
But
you did it anyways.
I did it. I did it. But at that point, I vividly remember, some of the people say, I think you look fat today. What's wrong?
Oh, God.
I'm dude.
Yeah. That's the thing.
You ask for a picture and then you say I look fat.
Yeah. That's the thing. people don't realize that. People don't realize that some of their words can hurt us. They don't realize that we're just human beings, that we feel all the things we feel. Like I am very grateful to have what I have, to be doing what I do.
Yeah.
I know that I count my blessings every day. And I'm not saying that, look at us. This is what we go through. It's so crap. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is,
Things could have been better.
no,
Like,
we are human beings. We feel and react like every other human beings. And people just have to think that before they start saying things that
Or
doesn't
doing
make
things.
sense.
Yeah.
Like, especially, I feel like, especially things that you can't personally change. Like for me, I cannot change the fact that I'm a woman. I cannot change the fact that I'm not married or I have children. I these things are I cannot, and I just have to do my very best to try and fit in as best as I can. And people don't see that because, again, they only see the good part. They don't see your struggles. They don't understand like your day-to-day stuff that you go through, They just feel like, okay, this person is here, I'm a fan, or I'm a supporter, or I'm a client, or I'm the TV producer, and they just have to do what is expected of them.
Yeah. What's been briefed.
Yeah.
What's been decided.
Yeah. But sometimes it's hard. Sometimes
It's
we
tough.
struggle, and
Yeah.
I think people just have to understand that and just maybe go a little easy. Maybe before writing things that can be hurtful, just don't say it. Like,
You
we
have
are.
nothing good to say.
Just don't say it.
Just don't say it.
Just put a little mark in the world, while doing what we love. And at the same time, try to share like some sort of like positivity, like what you're doing now,
Yeah.
right? You're using your voice, you're using your platform to just talk about these things that are probably a little troubling, so that maybe people can relate to, or maybe people can understand us better, but not to spread negativity, right?
Yeah. Now, speaking of which, like, I just want to share with all of you that we are not perfect.
Yeah.
Like, of course, we have some negative thoughts. Sometimes I feel like I want to punch some people on their face and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Or like just curse them to death and stuff like that. Like Santao or whatever.
Astaghfirullah. No, that's even worse. Haram.
No, like, like we all have these kind of thoughts before.
I mean,
when we were
ha-
triggered and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then again, it's the action, it's the decision you make whether not to speak it or to act on it.
Yeah.
So it's like, like you constantly have to like keep improving yourself by doing good, by, putting yourself in other people's shoes.
I don't believe that there are horrible people. I don't believe that there are orang yang jahat. I really don't. But sometimes we don't even realize what we do might affect people negatively. And that's why we do it, because it's something that is so normal.
Yeah. So more of the story is try to be good, do good, and be nice to people as much as possible. And I feel like inviting Anis for one episode is not enough.
Oh my God.
We're almost towards the end of this podcast
God.
already. I feel
Next
like
time.
we feel like we have a really good conversation,
Aw.
and hopefully the audience out there, our Are You Okay podcast fans, can learn something from it. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, next time I bring picnic food. Bye.
Bye.